Welcome back to the Enigmatic universe. I am Clifton3D, and today I want to kick off our October series of having videos, live streams, everything about the topics of the unknown, of the darkness, of monsters, of myths, of legends, of demonology, of the weird, ghosts, and many other things that surround the October month. Right, so let's go ahead and get into this video. I think this one's going to be pretty damn interesting. I've talked about Lilith before, but this is the one we're going to be starting off at. All right, so we're going to start with myths and legends. Lilith, the woman Adam married before Eve. Now, if you're new to this channel, you might not have seen this video or the live stream where I talked about it, where we read a few articles on ancient origins. You may not know that I am currently reading the Bible, and I'm looking forward to having a name drop of Lilith in the Bible. I want to see what the Bible actually says about her, since I've not read the Bible before. And that's what I'm doing here on the channel, so definitely go check that out. Let me know down in the comments below of all the videos that you check out, what you think, your thoughts. And remember, I am slowly getting better at everything. Anyway, this article dropped, a few days ago, a week ago. And now that we are in the October months, I thought it would be good if we would start getting into topics such as this. So let's go ahead and read the article, what it says about Lilith. When it comes to biblical lore, there is one character so shrouded in mystery and controversy that scholars have spent centuries arguing whether she even counts as a real biblical character or not. Lilith, the woman who is said by some to have preceded Eve as Adam's spouse, may not be a name familiar to all, but her presence in ancient texts and folklore has left an indelible mark on discussion surrounding the Garden of Eden, creation, and the early days of humanity. So who is Lilith? Where did she come from, and what role did she play in the original creation narrative? This is the story of the woman who defied convention long before Eve stepped into the picture. Who is Lilith? The character of Lilith has long been cast into the shadows of history, but she remains a character of considerable fascination. In some interpretations of ancient Hebrew texts, she's portrayed as the first woman, created on equal footing with Adam from the same earthy clay. This would make her the opposite of Eve, whom God fashioned from Adam's rib, who was created to be submissive, and whose passiveness led to her being tricked by the serpent. Unlike Eve, in the most portrayals, Lilith exudes an aura of independence and self-determination. The name Lilith itself is derived from the Hebrew word Lilitu, which signifies a creature of the night, a nocturnal being. This connection with darkness and the unknown has added to Lilith's mystique over the years. This association with darkness, combined with her strong-willed and assertive personality, refusing to comply with Adam's authority in the Garden of Eden, has led some scholars to lend negative condemnations to Lilith over the years. And if you know me, I do not shy away of making fun, of having a few jokes, especially when it comes to women. But I am going to try my hardest not to do this in this video. Or just, YouTube, this is artwork. Don't ban my video for that. Please don't. Not much concrete is really known about Lilith, as details of her character vary across texts and traditions. However, one thing tends to remain consistent: her defiance and refusal to conform to the traditional role of a subservient wife. Exactly. Didn't do that. Lilith and the Garden of Eden. If you were to read any modern Bible, you'd find no reference to Lilith. Oh, well, that's sad. Either in Genesis or anywhere else. Lilith's presence in the Garden of Eden story is not part of the mainstream biblical narrative, but largely emerges from Jewish folklore and texts. In these alternative accounts, Lilith is often depicted as Adam's first wife before Eve. So that means I definitely have to go check these things out. And if you are following me over on the Sunday Bible Stories, definitely let me know if there are side stories that aren't actually in the Bible that I should check out, and we will definitely check them out on Sundays. Or any other day, maybe. As we've already covered, Lilith's character is usually defined by her refusal to bow down to Adam and her lack of subservient as a wife. These might be traits many of us admire today, but not so 2,000 plus years ago, or actually probably not really even modern times, because really, I can't turn this into a discussion about male and female roles. And now that I've just said that humans are binary, I'm probably going to get canceled for that one as well. According to some versions of the story, Lilith's defiance led to exclusion of Eden, while in others, she left willingly. In these versions of the tale, rather than surrender her independence, she chose to be cast out of paradise. Lilith's origins can be traced back to a patchwork of mythologies in ancient texts, primarily within Jewish folklore. While not found in the canonical Hebrew Bible, her story began to take shape in various texts, including the alphabet of Ben Sira and the Zohar, both of which were written in different periods of Jewish history. In the alphabet of Ben Sira, Lilith is introduced as Adam's first wife, created from the same earth as him. However, their marriage is fought with conflict due to Lilith's unwillingness to be subservient to Adam. Her eventual departure from the Garden of Eden marks the start of her journey as a figure of independence and defiance. I'm not going to be playing this video right now, because it's probably too long. The Zohar, a significant work of Jewish mysticism, further developed Lilith's character, portraying her as a powerful and enigmatic being associated with the dark and mysterious aspects of existence. Medieval scholars and storytellers often use the Zohar to paint Lilith as a kind of demon. Beyond Jewish folklore, Lilith's influence extended to Mesopotamian and Babylonian mythologies, where she is associated with demons and malevolent spirits. These varied mythological threads wove together to create the multifaceted character of Lilith. Lilith's mythos has also left a mark on popular culture, from literature to art, and even modern feminists' interpretations. So, feminists worship a demon. Okay. Seems legit. Her story continues to resonate, serving as a symbol of rebellion against traditional gender roles and societal expectations. Yes. What happened to her? The fate of Lilith after her departure from the Garden of Eden is subject of ongoing debate and interpretations in various mythological and folkloric traditions. In some accounts, Lilith is depicted as a wandering spirit, forever seeking her own path outside of the confines of Eden. She's often associated with being a seductress, a malevolent force appearing in the night to harm or tempt men. Succubus, right? I guess maybe the first succubus. The 13th century writing of Isaac ben Jacob ha-Cohen, a Talmudist and Hebrew legal scholar, had Lilith cooping with the archangel Samuel, the accuser, adversary, and destroyer of Talmudic and post-Talmudic biblical lore. This darker portrayal of Lilith as a demoness reflects her defiance against traditional gender roles and societal norms. Some medieval scholars used Jacob's writing to explain that the offspring of Lilith and Samuel were the demons and monsters that so many worshippers feared. Oh, interesting. I see a few symbols that I've recently learned. Controversially, other interpretations paint a more sympathetic picture of Lilith. She is seen by some as a symbol of feminine independence and empowerment, choosing freedom over subservience. Some feminist interpretations even celebrate her as a figure who stood up to her rights and refused to be dominated by Adam. Lilith's legend also intersects with various cultural beliefs. In some traditions, she is associated with childbirth, believed to be a protector of pregnant women and newborns. Really? This positive aspect of her character contrasts with the more sinister depictions in other mythologies. Of course it does, because she's a freaking demon. You really don't want her connected to your child during childbirth. Believe me. That's all just rewriting. It's all rewriting to fit a feminist audience. Really? Oh boy, I don't like that. Early feminism. Well, guess there is something demonic about that. In the realm of ancient myth and folklore, Lilith stands as a compelling and mysterious figure, challenging conventional narratives and sparking debates on gender, power, and autonomy. While not a part of the traditional biblical account of the Garden of Eden, Lilith's story has endured through the ages, evolving to reflect changing cultural and societal values. See, that's the problem. It shouldn't change. The stories are there for a reason. Changing the stories doesn't mean that you're still on the correct side of things. That just means that you change the stories to fit your freaking narrative. Lilith, as the woman, preceded Eve, as Adam's spouse, symbolizes independence and defiance. Okay, look, Robbie Mitchell, your writing is good, but you keep saying the same thing over and over again. It's like you want us to know that you are a feminist and that you deeply, deeply believe in those changes, while we should be learning more about the traditional, about what it really was that these people saw in Lilith. Where was I? Her refusal to submit to Adam's authority and her departure from Eden have made her a powerful emblem of feminine empowerment. So the feminists celebrating Lilith, worshiping Lilith, are definitely against God, from what I've understood. There is something demonic about that. And look, while I absolutely support equal rights, but that's where it stops. Equal rights, period. No, not a reversal of rights, not demonizing young boys, not turning young boys into girls. That is not equal rights. That is destroying men. That is not something that we should aspire to. That is demonic in and of itself. Her refusal to... Oh, we've already had that. However, her character is far from one-dimensional, with interpretations ranging from demoness to protector of women in childbirth. Demoness. Lilith's mythos is a reminder of the enduring fascination with characters who challenge the status quo. Her story invites us to delve into the complexities of human relationships, power dynamics, and the enduring allure of the forbidden. Is it really? Is it really? All right, so I'm a little... I'm not entirely sold on this article. I wanted to know more about Lilith, about the actual story, about who she was, about what she did, who she became. Why did she have to leave Eden? Or why did she choose to leave Eden? This article, sadly, was more of a revived version for modern audiences, for feminists. I don't really care much about that. I don't like them changing lore just to fit their narrative. Look, I am all for equal rights, but I'm not for what many feminists are doing today, demonizing little boys, making sure that we have weak men. Why? Why? When in fact we all know that women like strong men, and they're not interested in these weak boys that they create. Anyway, definitely let me know down in the comments below what you think of this video. If you are interested in knowing more about Lilith, I would like to go and check out these two texts where she's described in the original texts, and we can go through them here on a video, but definitely do let me know if you are interested. It will help out this video, it will help out the channel, and I know for a fact that you're interested. Anyway, I think I'll leave you with that. Remember to hit that like button because, well, you know, likes are like cookies for YouTubers. We just can't resist them. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribing is like adopting a virtual unicorn. And who wouldn't want a majestic creature like that in their lives? So join the party, hit the subscribe button, and keep following. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep those tinfoil hats closed. You never know when they might come in handy. Until our next extraordinary adventure, this is Clifton3D signing off. Stay weird, my friends.